I'm Joan Amek. I am a feminist. I'm a lesbian. I am an activist. I am a community paralegal. I am a project planner. I'm an entrepreneur. I am an enthusiast of LGBTQ persons' rights, and also I advocate for SRHR around LGBTQ persons. Rella Women's Foundation, also Joan Amek is a co-founder of Rella Women's Foundation. We started Rella Women's Foundation in 2017, but that's not when the idea came up. The idea came up in 2016 when we went through, when we were trying to figure out what LGBTQ persons. So we started Rella Women's Foundation when LGBTQ persons were facing a lot of challenges in 2016, and in 2016 there was a challenge of accessing services, information, and also commodities. So beyond that, we later on found ourselves coming up with Rella Women's Foundation officially after our jobs come. So there's this jobs come in 2017 that happened, and the jobs come was around working within LGBTIQ persons, and in regards to having information in regards to health for LGBTIQ persons. So when we found that it was a jobs scam, they had already taken our money, yes, but then these human beings were at my place. So we decided to bring the idea from 2016 to 2017 with a group of 7 human beings, and then we had the conversation of how do we start up something that actually works around the vulnerabilities of LGBTIQ people. And then that's how Rella Women's Foundation came about. One person came up with a name, other people came up with the different vulnerabilities that they were facing. It was a group of 7 human beings, intersex, transgender, cisgender, LGBTQ people. And to date, that's what we are working around. We are working around access to SRHR services and commodities and information under our Kahuna program. We work around vulnerabilities, around homelessness, insecurities, and also displacement of LGBTQ people around our Rella House of Hope Rehabilitation Center. And then we also work around movement building, where we focus on having other LGBTQ persons be on the front line besides me and besides other people that are a part of the organization, because we're wondering what happens to the person outside us and beyond Kuchu Times, who writes the stories of the frontliners. So in that program, we also document and focus the LGBTQ persons that are leading. Right now, it has taken long, but there's supposed to be a wall of fame here that shows every other LGBTQ person that has taken this journey with us. And this is not only for us as an organization to have a space that gives memories, but then also for other LGBTQ people to just walk in and appreciate the work that has been done so far. And then lastly, we also work around the HEWA program, where we work towards economic justice, and we work towards making sure that LGBTQ persons have access to jobs, access to individual and meaningful decisions around what is my career, or even what do I want to be, what impact I want to bring up to the community. That is what Rella Women's Foundation does, and that's who Rella Women's Foundation is. We do have an SRHR program, like I mentioned, the Kahuna program, and then furthermore, beyond the Kahuna program, in each one of our programs supports the Kahuna program. Yes. So we have guidelines that support the person that is working in that project, or we have a strategic plan under that particular line, and we also have human beings that are benefiting from that line of work. We don't have an SRHR policy, but we are looking at coming up with one. For now, Rella Foundation has been mostly receiving grants around people that are supporting COA support, and in this, preferably, they have also been focusing on the SRHR department, on if at all you're offering SRHR support in regards to commodities, information and services. You can go ahead and pay salaries, you can go ahead and get space, etc, etc. So in that way, the funds that we've been getting, yes, there have been COA support and not going particularly to projects, but it's also benefiting the SRHR space because in the end of it all, we are still doing the work that we're supposed to do. For example, referring LBQ people to the spaces they need to get safe and affordable SRHR services, information and commodities, but then also advocating with policymakers in regards to budgets. Where is the money going? Why aren't LBQ people a part of spaces of what? Of a part of spaces amongst those that are called key populations. But then furthermore, why aren't LBQ persons among the people that are considered for safe commodities and also family planning, peer parenting, things like those? We've gone deeper into. As I said, I think we are mistaking between our SRHR manual and then the person that is guided between running the organization through policies and guidelines of how they run it. Because the SRHR manual still, I would feel, goes into how is this person delivering the services or connecting with the community for this particular work. But I would say one of the things is through referrals. For example, services that include Apple services. Rella Foundation has registered a number of successes in regards to support for LBQ persons in receiving Apple services. But Apple services are abortion services that are given to LBQ persons that need to undergo abortion, safe abortion or non-safe abortion. And why I specify non-safe abortion is because some people still insist on having abortions beyond 5 months, 6 months, yes, and now that becomes unsafe. But if the mother is aware that this might be unsafe and they decide to go in for it, it's really on them. Our work is to give them the information, give them the services, and also connect them to the people that are willing to help them through the end, through this process. We have also been able to support other LBQ people that have not been able to pay for their medical bills, whereby we have an emergency grant that is specifically for human beings that can't fully pay for their bills. So they share with us receipts, or they start by sharing with us the problem. For example, I got an accident here and there, and then I know I got myself in here, but I can't support myself out of it. Can we walk this journey together? So the work of Rella Foundation is to walk this journey of payment for not only the bills, but then also to see this human being through recovery. Are they getting the support they need in regards to food, in regards to juices, like beverages, and then furthermore beyond that. And then we've also registered a number of successes around our referral sectors. We had noticed that very many LBQ people are not comfortable just walking into any other hospital to get the support that they need. But eventually, we managed to connect people to spaces where they could feel safer, spaces where they could feel like they could get the full attention that they needed as LBQ persons, but then also spaces where they didn't feel like they were judged as I am not given the support that I need because this is who I am. We have also registered successes among us having conversations with service providers, whereby we have had conversations with people in different rural areas, Kagadi, Lira, Gulu, and we're talking about how is this service supported or given to LBQ persons. And the beauty of it all for me has been in people realizing that LBQ commodities, SRHR commodities, are not only for LBQ persons but also are for the general public. For example, dental dams, very many men go down on their women, but they do not think about it when it comes to an LBQ person or a woman going down on someone that they feel preferable, or even just finger fucking. As we go down the road, there are so many people that buy sex workers, but or even beyond sex workers, have sex with random women. But how many times do we feel the need to protect our fingers, our mouth, and our genitalia just because? So we've had conversations with people that are in policy making, and we're talking about how do we protect ourselves on a wider level as human beings, but rather non-focusing a commodity on a sexual practice or a particular individual because of their sexual orientation. Furthermore, we have been a part of different organizings or technical working groups like the Sexual Offences Bill, where we've talked about how the Sexual Offences Bill affects LBQ people and how they access services. And in this we have got parliamentarians to accept LGBTIQ people, and then also LBQ persons' practices and how they are affected by the SOBs or Sexual Offences Bill. And that is not even on a level of us understanding that, oh, this is only going to affect a lesbian woman. Welcome. And this Sexual Offences Bill, we made sure that they notice that it not only affects us as queer people, but also affects the general public as a whole. So these conversations have not only enlightened human beings around the practices, but then also they have allowed them to appreciate the fact that you can be interested in something different from myself. Really speaking from truth, my SRHR practice in regards to access, in regards to information sharing or knowledge sharing, and in regards to policy change is not about to influence a donor to give me money. They are supposed to feel the impact of the work that we do in the community, for them to say, okay, Rella Women's Foundation is doing this and this and this, and because of that, we shall support them. Rella Women's Foundation has supported this group of people, and because we are also interested in supporting this group of people, we shall support them. Because I believe we all have individual minds, and our individual minds are biased by different things. It could be the way we write our proposals. It could be the way people talk about our organization. It also could be around how people also engage with the organization itself. And in us being an organization that can only write proposals, I don't think we have power in manipulating or in working around how donors fund our organization under SRHR. It's really up to them to appreciate the work that we do for them to fund us. Sexual and reproductive health and rights and commodities and services not only benefit LGBTIQ persons as people make it seem or make it look, because in the end of it all, they support all of us as individual beings. And whether I'm a lesbian woman or a bisexual woman or a heterosexual woman, I will still need services or access to family planning. I'll still need access to safe commodities. I'll still need access to information, even though it's to discover who I am as a human being, or to even just keep myself safe, or to have children, or to do anything that I want to do under my sexual and reproductive health. Because very many of us are pushed aside because people don't feel the need to engage or to involve themselves within the work that we do. Yet if we look at this in a broader perspective of it's not only about me, it's about all of us. We are who we are because we are. That's Rella's motto. But then furthermore, it goes beyond us because we exist because other people exist. We wouldn't have known that we are who we are before other people knew that, hey, this is how you must be. And then you become very much defiant to accept who you are.